the vice principal at Xavier, and while he was there one time, we had a retired principal, Lauren Howcroft, some of you may know him, who had Lauren Howcroft had come out of retirement to fill in for a VP, I guess it was ill, or maybe maternity leave, I'm not sure what it was. And Lauren called me into his office one day, and I go, "What's up?" He goes, "Again, I teach economics, and I've been talking about labor economics, and we've been talking about protests." And Lauren calls me and he says, "There's been a complaint." And I go, "What?" He goes, "A student alleged that you used the word shit disturbers in class." I go, "Yeah, that sounds like me. That's Brian." He says, "You can't do that." Okay, I won't do that. So anyway, I invite Paul Schmidt into my class, not even a week later. And Paul's very animated. If you know Paul, he's into his politics. I mean, he's probably been doing cartwheels the last couple of days because of what happened in Alberta. And I'm ignoring you because of what happened in Alberta, but anyway. I mean, if you're that communist, you gotta be right wing. So anyway, so Paul Schmidt comes into my class and he starts talking about economics and politics and talking about Mike Harris, and he's animated, and I think he actually used the word asshole. So I'm sitting there smiling from ear to ear, going, looking around, okay, which student is going to tattle on him? Right? Is he going to get called into this other VP's office? I don't know if it ever happened, maybe you can tell us. So come on up here, Paul.
Thank you very much, Dave. I'm not going to tell you what Lauren said to me. I do want to use this opportunity, though, just to make some remarks about my very dear friend, Brian. And I'll start with some comments that were made at a session I was at earlier this week about our schools and how the metaphor that was used was on any given day they can be like a field hospital. There's a lot of broken and bent and wounded students and staff and everybody who comes in. And they will come in, and if they trust and they know you, they will go in and knock on your door. And it is like a field hospital on some days. There's crises that are just phenomenal. And I think that as this person was talking about with that metaphor, I've been thinking about that since then, and I thought, you know, what Brian has always been, and to trace my roots, Alex picked me up in 2000. I was with Brian for about 4 or 5 years, went to Loyola for a year, then down to St. Paul, and I lucked out in having Brian for another 4 or 5 years. So we've been close to more than 10 or 11 years working together. And what everybody knows that works with Brian is that he is your spiritual medic in the field hospital. He does the hard and consoling work that nobody that leads the school or is a staff in the school can do. And he does that job, which is impossible, so exceptionally well that you can't imagine a school, your school, without Brian. So for me, and I think everybody that is here tonight will have your own Brian stories. The only one I would like to share with you, and it speaks to the heart of the man, is we had a great opportunity with one of those dreaded SHSMs to go to Jamaica with a group of 26 students to a very, very difficult school to work. A good part of that was put together by Brian and his relationship with one of the priests who is now a bishop there. And while we were there, we had an opportunity to visit, and Brian and I struck out at a couple of places that we had been invited. One was a community radio, where we did a community radio show, spoke to them about our school in Mississauga and the school we were visiting and were twinned with. And after that, and this is the mark I just want to leave you with, We were invited by an agency to visit probably the most difficult social service agency that was caring for lack of a better term, abandoned and very physically harmed and very, 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 very difficult to care for people. And it is a place where you would not even, probably if you were invited in, many people would say, I do not want to even go in there. Well, when I walked in after Brian, amongst the people that were there, many of whom had difficulty communicating, Brian went to every person in that tent in the 85, 90 degree weather, put his hand on each person, blessed them, and told them that he loved them. And that, for me, with the people, just was the flip side of what he's been doing at all the schools that he's worked at in Government Hill. So that's one of many stories, but I'm here to also express my love for my dear friend, Brian Finamore. Thanks, Brian.